What's happening, Wargamers? It is another look at Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures, and this week we have some members of Thanos' Black Order. And we are going to be starting with Black Dwarf and Ebony Maw. And I have to admit, I am going into this. I don't know anything about these guys outside of their appearance in the MCU. I really dig the look from what I'm seeing so far. Ebony Maw looks a little... Yeah, he looks a little typical. But I'm really liking Black Dwarf on there. I'm hoping he's going to be very similar to Hulk size, because I think the game needs another Hulk-sized model. I was a little disappointed that Thanos was not quite the same size, but I have been told that Hulk is supposed to be bigger than Thanos. Thanos isn't supposed to be as big as he appears in the MCU, or vice versa. Or maybe Hulk is supposed to be bigger. But anyway, yeah, so some great looking models here, and looking forward to get these, because I think the prospect of having Thanos lead his own affiliation is kind of interesting. I really like that idea and concept. So yeah, just right off the bat. So downside is these. This is one of the kits that does not quite have the numbers on the components on the instructions here. Again, it looks simple enough. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. Oh, jeez. Ebony Maw looks super easy to build. Yeah, so I'm not going to be worried too much about that. So let's crack open here. So, all right. So, oh, there's actually a chunk in here. Okay, so right off the bat, tokens. Yay, tokens. Love tokens. We got some power tokens. We got some damage tokens. We got some Hydra tokens, and I can't remember what that one is for, but we got tokens. I like tokens. For cards, so right off the bat, we got another Infinity Gem. We have the Space Gem, and oh, that's really cool. That allows you to teleport a character around. And I mean, for anyone who's watched this, any sort of movement manipulation, especially in a skirmish-sized game, is fantastic. What else have we got here? We got we got a reactive ability here. So it is Ebony Maw's range of 5, spends 1 or more energy when using a active or reactive superpower, and you can... Okay, well, when allied Ebony Maw spends 1 or more, you can spend 3 to do this, and the enemy superpower has no effect and can't be used again for the rest of the turn. And the power is still spent. Okay, so that's kind of a nice little gotcha moment right there. Like, obviously, I believe the cards are open information, but that is a nice way of kind of controlling the flow of things. Then we got Mothership, and this one is for the Black Order, so there is an affiliation there. And 2 Black Order characters may both spend 2 power each, and... place one of the 2 characters not holding an objective token within range 1 of the other character. Okay, so this is more movement manipulation. I really like that. I'll see how effective it is in the game itself. And then we have Marked for Death, which is an unaffiliated active action. 2 allied characters that are within range 5 may spend 1 power to play this card. Each enemy character loses and cannot gain stealth. Its speed becomes short, and it cannot modify or reroll its defense dice. So this feels like it's something designed to take on Black Widow or Nebula, or just slow some characters down. So that's not too shabby. I like what I'm seeing there. As far as the cards themselves, so we got Black Dwarf, who is beefy with a 6 health, 4 threat. He's moving short though. That's slow. 4 physical defense and 3s for energy and mental, so that's not too bad. It's got a beefy strike ability, and I like that his this ability right here causes stagger, but at 4 power, that is a little hefty. And then Black Fury right here, okay, that allows him to throw some big size stuff, so that's always useful. Enforced Oblivion, okay, so, it takes a move and then adds some more dice to its attack. So you combine that with an Axe Strike, and you're rolling 8 dice and getting some good power out of that, probably. And let's see, it's got Invulnerable Skin, so similar to Iron Man, basically reduces damage by 1 to a minimum of 1. Yeah, and got an Intimidating Presence here. So... okay, so basically it's a bodyguard style ability, so that's cool. And then Ebony Maw is, he's beefy with 7 health, 5 threat. Not much in the way of defense though, although he's got some really good mystic defense. So yeah, not too shabby here. I like that he can advance whenever he moves on a wild, or whenever he attacks on a wild anyway. He can throw size 2 characters or less, so again, that's pushing people around, which is always really nice. Also denies power gain for those characters for the damage dealt, so that's kind of cool. But 4 power, a little hefty. Can throw a size 4 terrain feature and long distance on top of that, so that's not too shabby. And yeah, so it gets some extra bonuses to its dodges. Okay, and the psychic potential. Okay, that's nice. He gets an additional 2 power, so that means he's generating 3 power every turn. If you yeah, so okay, so his power consumption isn't too bad as a result, because he's going to be gaining a lot of power quite quickly. Now, just hopefully his low defense doesn't keep him from being able to actually make use of that power. As far as the models themselves, okay, so there we go. We got Black Dwarf, and he's a big guy. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Sadly, I don't have my Hulk model on hand at the moment, but right now he is looking like he's going to be pretty similarly sized to it, because that is some chunky looking models there. Like the fact that his legs, each leg is 2 pieces of the component, each arm is 2 pieces, so he's chunky. And then we got Ebony Maw, and he just looks really simple to put together. There's not really much to him. So kind of static models, which is a little disappointing, because we've seen some models that have had some great fluid looks to them. So seeing something a little bit more static, it's not a deal breaker, but it'd be nice to see something a little bit more dynamic. But yeah, we're gonna get it built and check those models out. So we have Ebony Maw and Black Dwarf put together. I'm going to start with Ebony Maw because he is nice and simple. And gotta say, as much as I love a good dynamic model, there is something very nice about this one. It definitely shows off his more sinister side to it. He definitely has that pose of sort of commanding things, as opposed to being a man of action. Someone who other people will take care of his stuff for him. So it's a very simple pose. He's just sort of flying in on that debris there. Um, yeah, it's actually rather interesting. Not my favorite model, but it works for what he is. You definitely look at this and see Space Wizard, which is kind of a lot of fun, and I guess it gets the point across. The model itself very easy to assemble. The legs slot together really nicely. The arms go on well. The torso and the back piece. Really easy. Head's all one piece. And even the base, very simple. All in all, it's a very simple model to assemble. No problems whatsoever. He actually looks like he should be fun to paint as well, which is kind of nice. But yeah, just in general, he's a decent model. Now, I'm wondering if these ones were tooled up a little early on as well, because there are still a couple gaps, like you see around the shoulders. So I'm not sure at what stage of the design process of the game like these ones were put together, but it's not so bad. Taking a look at Black Dwarf now, and we definitely have a character that is closer to Hulk-sized, but with the Hulk size, you get gaps. I mean, got gaps there, gap there. Under the arm, it looks like it's hidden, thankfully, but there were some gaps there as well. Just in general, gaps. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of filling on this one. The gaps themselves are a little bit noticeable. I would prefer not to have those gaps there before I paint it, because then they'll really stand out. Otherwise, super easy to put together. The instructions, oddly enough, I didn't see anything about that little headpiece there, so it almost threw me off. I had to double check everything, and it took me a while until I saw the gaping hole in his forehead to tell that was where that piece went. But yeah, the model itself really simple. Now, I don't know why, but I've never been a fan of these chunky weapons. This is a really chunky axe, and it just, as a result, it just, I don't know, it looks a little off to me as a result. The axe itself looks fine, but just that thickness and chunkiness, I don't know. I think that's more of a personal design aesthetic than anything else, but it almost looks toy-like as a result. But otherwise, I like his pose. He's kind of lumbering forward. He's getting his axe ready to strike there, or his other hand is looking to grab something. I like it. There's a bit of a menace to it, and I think one of the interesting things about these two models is that they both convey a lot of strength, but at the same time not in the typical way we see villains in this game to show that strength. So it's interesting. I think they both kind of capture the nature of the Black Order in this one. The fact that they are threats to be to be cautious about. So yeah, looking forward to getting some paint on them. And of course, guys, if you like this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below what you thought, what you want to see, that sort of stuff. And as always, happy wargaming.